think you're right. I think at this point we are just looking at the result. But me and Louis were watching it in the pub, and we saw that if you made this point, the goal, their first goal, Ambrose was just doing his own thing. Everyone else was in line, and if Ambrose had been in line and held the line, the guy would have been offside. And then it's obviously him trying to cover and the deflection. So as much as it's just, it was an unlucky deflection and, Ambrose was doing it, if Ambrose had actually held the line with the rest of the players, the guy would have been offside. So, things like that, just Ambrose shouldn't be playing because he's just not good enough. But he's
filling that gap because our three right backs are out injured.
Yeah, I know. So I'm not. But do you know what? To be honest, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'd rather we have a young player in there making the same mistakes that he's making and learning from them. Because see, at 28 or 29, Ambrose shouldn't be making the mistakes.
Yeah, that young player's Daniel Fisher, who's actually injured.
He's injured. Aye, but
there must be another one in the youth team. There must be somebody playing right back.
Is O'Connell a right back or a left back?
Centre half.
But he plays full back as well. He plays full back for the reserves.
Well, I've always seen him playing.
Well, yeah, I guess there's no point playing in my position. Just a couple of stats again. We can't totally rely on stats, but one that kind of worries me a little bit is look at that stat, Chris.
Pass accuracy,
61%.
That's
61%.
That's the thing. See with Brown, you get the drive from Brown, but you're always going to get a lot of stray passes from him. His passing's is his major weakness.
What was the possession stat?
They had 57%, we had 43%, which away from home.
I thought we had a lot of the ball in the second half.
So did they, though, to be fair.
Just the usual typical going from side to side to side in front of the box because we just couldn't penetrate through them.
82% in terms of tackle success, which is good. Here's what I think. I thought Salzburg were really poor. That was what kind of worried me a little bit because we got a good result. It's a good result no matter what, but they weren't very good. And it's just, again, I didn't think Maribor were very good, and I didn't think Legia were very good. If we come up against a genuinely good team, we could be absolutely rattled. Hopefully by the time we face one of the bigger teams, we won't be. Although having said that, I watched the highlights of Zagreb, and they look pretty potent in front of goal. Thoughts on that?
Well, they've got one player who scored 3 headers, didn't he?
Yeah.
In the box. I mean, you would hope that wouldn't happen against us, but you never know. But I thought first half we were hanging on a bit. I've said to you in the pub, Chris, that I felt as if it was that feeling against Legia Warsaw where it felt as if we were just on the ropes, like we were clinging on for dear life, and I felt as if it was getting to that point at the end of the first half. The second half they were better, and I actually felt almost disappointed at the end of the game with the draw because we went ahead twice, and I didn't think I'd agree. I wasn't very impressed by them. I thought we could have got something else out of the game, but at the same time, the free kick that they scored to make it 2-2, I mean, there's no many keepers that would have saved that, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I think probably a draw was a fair result in the end.
Chris?
I was going to say I was disappointed in them, but that's not the right choice of words. But I expected more of them. In the run-up to the game, we'd spoken about their attacking players and stuff like that. The amount of goals they scored in the Austrian League last season, and I'm pretty sure in the Europa League last season as well.
Soriano rattled them in.
Soriano. They've got a few other players that are really highly rated, and I know Soriano scored the free kick.
Alan scored as well.
Alan.
He had a decent game, missed a few chances.
The guy with the shit Brazilian name. But in saying that, I know they scored and stuff like that, but I was expecting them to really have posed us more problems than they did. Now I'm saying that and we've not played the return game at Parkhead, and they might do that. But as you say, I didn't think they were very good. They looked to me as a team that got frightened a wee bit, almost. That sounds daft because of how rubbish we've been this season, but it's almost like it's a big game. It's Celtic, they've been in the Champions League the last 2 seasons, and they didn't step up to the plate.
They probably had more pressure on themselves than anything else. They probably had the pressure of they've been a team that has had so much expectation on them, they've never quite delivered, that when they're at home against Celtic after the results we've had. They probably had a bit of pressure on them, and again,
they'd lost the last 2 games before they play us. But I just
also as well. Sorry, out of all the Europa League teams, we were the second worst for odds to actually get a result. So I think we were something like 8-1.
Yeah, you could get.
And there was only one more team below us that had worse odds.
I think I take that point on board, Louis, but they were just tripe. Like, they started the first 5 or 10 minutes, they started okay, and they came out and they had a chance or two. Having said that, Gordon was in such inspired form that if Zalewski was in goal, maybe we would have lost 4 or 5 now. Do you know what I mean?
Probably startled them as well was the fact that we scored quite early.
Yeah.
I mean, we got at them. That probably maybe set them back a little bit, and they think, well, okay, this is not going to be quite as much of a push.
The only thing we did in the first half was that goal, and don't get me wrong, the goal was terrific, a really well worked goal, but it was pretty much the only thing we did in the first half, which is worrying. Anyway, looking ahead, Hearts on Wednesday. That's going to be tough. Hearts are,
depends on what he puts out.
It shouldn't be tough.
I know it shouldn't be.
Hearts
away at home.
Aye.
Well, Hearts are a second division team. The fact that is that we are worried about it speaks volumes about where we are just now. I'm going to back dial on this one, though. I think we're going to put in a half decent performance on Wednesday.
So when we get to January, I wonder if you'll still be backing Dialer.
I didn't say I backed him. I'm backing him on Wednesday. We'll see. No, I do back him. But I remember was it not 2 weeks ago that you said he should go?
Aye.
For his sake, I said he should take the decision to go. Not that I wanted him to go.
The point.
His own good.
I'm sorry for jumping in there,
but his wife and his children.
The point I was going to make earlier on, it's just came back to me. In terms of how the Scottish team set out and expectations levels and diets and the players. Well, 2 points. Firstly, we're talking about changing the diet. Usually it'll be like, oh well, these players are like, they're all these Scottish players have got the attitude and all that, or blah blah. Most of these players are foreign. In terms of attitude and diet and all that, they are foreign, and they've came from clubs where Virgil came from like Groningen, which is apparently a very good team at developing youngsters and stuff like that. It's not like it's 10 young Scottish boys. It's mostly a foreign team. That's what doesn't confuse. I just find that I'm a bit at odds with that, because I could understand it if it was a bunch of wee guys, but it's not.
There is quite a few, Scottish players there.
No, there are, but the majority are foreign.
Well, let's count them out. You've got Brown, Mulgrew, Stokes is Irish, so that I don't imagine his diet's very good either. McGregor, Commons, Forrest, Gordon. See, there's loads. There's
more Scottish players at the club than there are foreigners.
Shut up.
When you take in the youth,
I'm talking about the first team. No, I'm talking about
Chris. Basically, what you've done there is you've messed up. It's full of Scottish
yourself, big man.
eating chippies, drinking ginger, and generally being jakes. And Dialer's trying to sort that out, and it's not working. Oh, why don't you put that battered sausage down? Fuck you, Dialer. I'll eat what I want. Oh, Neil, do you see what this prick's trying to get us to do here?
I wouldn't be surprised if that's happened. The other point I was going to say is, I wonder how much input John Collins has actually given Dialer in terms of, what to expect. I wonder if I assume Dialer knew that Motherwell were going to sit back, and that by playing the team that he started with, that we wouldn't have a lot of penetration in terms of getting through them. And obviously that game is perfect for Brown if there was so much space in midfield, like Ciaran was saying about Denier. Anyway, that was it. Okay, let's move on.
Hey man, get your. What are you doing with your hand on my butt, man? I'm from Texas. 1-2, Butthole.
Okay, we'll just have our kind of roundup of the rest of the results. In fact, we actually have a couple of questions, and I'll actually field this to Ciaran, because unfortunately Ciaran is a Manchester United fan. This is from Michael Chapman, Chappels, at NUFC_monkey. Does Van Gaal have a much larger task than first thought, and will he be able to sort it out? Ciaran?
Yeah, because I think he's bought too much top heavy. He's not got the balance through the squad. Quite clearly, it was crying out for defenders. He's lost three of the most experienced defenders at the club, in Vidic, Ferdinand, and Evra. And he's brought in Luke Shaw, young boy, very talented left back. Hasn't played yet, obviously.
He's getting, sorry to jump in, but he's getting criticised for his fitness. Sorry.
Yeah, but I think he played most of last season, so I don't know. He's always had an injury, so that can't be down to fitness.
Sorry, anyway, on you.
And brought in Marcus Rojo. I've not really seen a lot of him. He seemed alright in the World Cup, but didn't seem to be like an outstanding experienced defender. And still got Smalling and Evans, Smalling and Jones, who were too much in and out of the team last year because injured.
Chris Smalling is a turd of a footballer. He should not be playing.
More of a turd than Johnny Evans.
Johnny Evans is also a turd of a footballer. Anyway, Ciaran, sorry.
The thing is, he's got far too many big name players that he can't leave out. I mean, he played everyone yesterday. So when you've got so many attacking players, they need to have a discipline to come back and help out the rest of the team. Which I didn't see the game yesterday, so I'm not really too sure how well that came back. But I mean, from going from a 3-1 lead and then in the space of 20 minutes, getting beat 5-3 from a newly promoted team, no disrespect to them, but the players that Man United had in the park, they should have kept that way result.
Chris, thoughts?
They remind me a lot of Real Madrid earlier on in the decade. Well, as Ciaran says, they're far too top heavy. They bought a lot of attacking talent, but they neglected the players at the back. Man United are crying out for a whole new defence.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it. Rojo, I don't know. He might work out. He might be a good player. But in terms of everybody else, Raphael, I don't think he's very good. The centre-halves that we've spoken about, I don't think any of them are Man United class. Phil Jones, I would guess